There's a little baby magpie in the tree outside my window. Cutest thing I've ever seen. They follow me everywhere. Not joking. Same way I follow you everywhere. Try and work out how I can do my bit, do my part. Welcome back. Sorry. Yeah, coming back to the second tool to your toolbox, or no, the second magpie feather in your cap. Exposure. Yeah. As I say, always make sure there's witnesses, because these deformities, if they see you as a threat, they will eradicate it, but they will only do it if it doesn't cause them exposure. And if you've said whatever you've said to them, hopefully it won't come to that. But if you have, and you have witnesses, by doing something to you, it's just going to bring the attention more to them. Okay, got to mention that, so I thought I would now. But majority of the time, they just slither off. Either way. Okay, where were we? Yeah, so we've done a wastial, psychopath, a secondary psychopath, and they were both in the previous. And the one I was speaking of, which was the third psychopath, would be a primary. Okay, wastial, secondary, primary. The tool to take from this third one, the feather to pluck from this one, would be inconsistency. All right. So what I mean by that is, the same way with exposure, you would talk to them head on. With inconsistency, I would say I do this a lot deliberately, because I don't want to. The amount of times people do this and they get taken up on it. Well, most of them probably know exactly what they're doing, but for this. What's it? Yeah. Inconsistency would be to speak to the ones around you rather than them head on. Okay, fuck them. Don't even think about them. You feel like they're spreading, they're spinning webs, right? You just go and talk to someone else and say, "So I was just told this. Now I'm not accusing you at all. I just wondered if you've been told anything as well." See, power in numbers takes away any that they have. All right. So, wastial, secondary, primary. Yeah, right. You see, they have very low levels of oxytocin. People say that they don't know how to use their amygdala gland. Okay, not, and I point at the pineal. It's the nothing to do with their third eye. Okay, they wouldn't even know where to start with that shit. Their amygdala gland works perfectly. Okay, they work more. They function better than you and I ever will. Okay, it's that they don't choose to use it the same way. If you don't anything really, you never liked maths. I didn't. Fucking hated it. So I'm really bad at maths, because that part of the brain that goes bub, 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 it just hasn't been used. You can get better out of it if you open it, awaken it, unlock it. But if you don't, it's not being used. They don't use their empathy, so that part of the brain is shut down. Okay? Even if it weren't shut down, it would still be a false interpretation of empathy because there's no connection from the heart and the mind, like I said before. Okay? If you don't have that connection, as it says in scripture, how many times you hear people say, follow your heart, right? How many times you hear me speaking about the heart, but only in the same cycle, the mind and the heart, because without both, it's like having one eye, okay? You still see, but your depth perception is not going to be the same, okay? And if you just use your mind, you will get lost. If you just use your heart, you will get lost, okay? But yeah, they can use it, they just don't use it. And they wouldn't want to either. I mean, there is a sense of freedom to psychopathy, like, I've remembered the next one. Give me a second. Another prime candidate. Yeah, there is a sense of freedom to it, because they don't have to feel guilt, shame. I think they feel shame when they're younger because they can't connect with anyone. Okay. Yeah, they. This is another tool. I'm just trying to think of a type of psychopath um, to use it upon. Well, I'll tell you the tool. It's their loneliness. It's another one that you don't hear many people bring up. Superficial charm and glib and yeah, cool, all of it. I'm not even going to go there. You should know if you're watching this, you must have some interest in psychopathy to know the checklist. Surely, right? It's not as simple as that anyway. It's not. I'm trying to get a little bit more under the surface here. Find the fucking Loch Ness monster that's inside their Black Sea. Rather than the fucking seaweed that floats on top. So lonely. They're so lonely because they can't connect. They never could. Remember when you was a little kid, first friend you made? We never had that. They have there was never any sense of acceptance. So they had to learn to accept themselves to be their own friend, their own family. And once they did that, they got locked in. It became imprinted from a young age. Once something becomes imprinted, that's who you are. Okay. So yeah, there's another one. See, the traits I'm working with, instead of going for psychopathic traits, I'm going more for the traits that psychopaths and Satan both seem to share. I mean, it's right there, right? And I've mentioned before, if you want to understand Satan's character profile, look up the traits. It's not as simple as that, but they're all there. They're all there. Yeah, so maybe that's not a tool. I won't call that one a tool, the loneliness. It's just something to keep in mind, to show you that they might not be human, but they are subhuman, okay? Which is why they feed off of our subhuman sustenance, as I've said before, which is what reptilians do. So there's a web that's been spun even there with all the creatures and characters that I've mentioned. But yeah, they want relationships and things, but they just they don't know how to do anything but own it. And it would be an it as well. You would be an it. You are an it. They get you hooked on them the same way that they're hooked on the adrenaline they get from sticking the hook in you. Okay, so they'll love bomb you. They'll love bomb you. You probably know that one. So that is a common one that most mention. Just I love you so much. Well, the same thing my ex did to me. I've always wanted a family with someone. I would I would love to have children, and to be a mother, and you seem like you would be a very good father, and woo, and all that shit. And then right at the last minute, what? No, I not feel nothing. Boom, 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 boom. So, love bombing. Cult leaders do that too. But then all cult leaders are psychopaths, so it's no surprise, is it? Um, okay, next one. So most psychopaths are drawn and magnetised to jobs, businesses, and careers that hold authority and power over another, as you may know. Um, one of them being the medical, it's not business, is it? But yeah, like medicinal reaches, so it'd be nurses, doctors. This next one is a nurse, was a nurse. Haven't seen a nurse since either. Um, yeah, I took my partner to get a coil removed and replaced with another. And this is just a short one, really, but it ties into the reptilian thing as well. If you want me to go in with her, I wouldn't have had it any other way. This surgery, um, yeah, it's called Park. I always call it Psychopath surgery, because they all are. Every fucking one of them that you ever like ever was checked out by was just cold, man. Like a demon had entered the room because they are one in the room already. Okay. Um, yeah, big fake puppet grin, but without the eyes. Sorry, see, natural because I have emotion such as you do. Even when I try and do a fucking impression of them, I can't do it properly. I've met enough of them. The eyes still move. Theirs don't. They have all these crow's feet from trying to fake being happy and concerned and playing the victim. But it's all, again, woof woof truth dog, I tell you. They emote with their eyebrows a lot, like news presenters do. It's not fucking real. Okay? Yeah. She had a big grin. Hiya! Come sit down. Still not doing the eyes, alright? Hiya! Come sit down. Just fucking marbles. Oh. Whoops. See? So I use my little fingers. Um, yeah, I suppose it's to remind me just what I've got. Uh, yeah, I sat down on the little waiting chair thing, visitor chair, and I laid my partner down. Just two of them. They both had the exact same expression on their faces. One of them was putting in or looking up the details. Probably not. Probably just tapping the fucking keyboard, looking like she's doing something. I believe they were both psychopaths, but one was something else. I'll get to it. Typing away, she's asking my girlfriend, if she's had any pains from it or any, just the questions they have to ask. Probably wouldn't have even asked them if I wasn't in the room because I was a witness. See, always have a witness. And she's just trying to get a rise out of my girlfriend. She was just loose feeding her 101. She was like, so has it hurt you in the past? My girlfriend would be like, well, yeah, I suppose it started to. She's like, look, did it or didn't it? I mean, you should know, right? It's not a hard question. Like every single thing she asked, coming back like that, right? Zapping her, okay? To the point where I turned around and went, do you know what? We haven't got long, to be honest, love. Maybe, you know, I mean, all your details are there, right? You've got them already, yeah? Right, yes. Yeah, let's get on with it, sort of thing. Laid her down. So violent with taking it out and putting the other one in. It gave her an infection. She put the fucking rod in the rock at like a diagonal, in a diagonal direction, so that it's bent round the arm. So if she knocks into a wall or a chair or something, just slightly, just brushes it, absolutely pains. I'd imagine it was done deliberately. Here's the other kicker. Here's another kicker. So they swap over, and the one that I'd say was worse. The other one was just as bad. She just didn't talk. She was the other way. I could give less of a fuck about you. I'm not even gonna breathe loudly because you're not worth my breath. The other one couldn't shut the fuck up, right? One had the mask on, one didn't, and they swapped. Another one went to bandage my girlfriend up, and the one that was pretending with the big ventriloquist smile, as Thomas Sheridan would put it. Always give credit where it's due. She came, sat down next to me, went, right, so, what was it? I don't even think she was talking to me, actually. I'm trying to remember back. I think she was just like, I think she sat down in the chair and just like, right, so that's done. And she turned, she smiled at me. And when she looked at me, what do you think I fucking saw in her pupils? I saw slits. Not only did she just look and she had slits, no. She looked at me and circles, pupils, and they went, yeah, yeah. I'm not going to try and prove myself, as I said. I don't prove when I know I'm telling the truth. So there's another one for you. The only tool I can give you for the toolbox there is no, mate. I would say don't go to the fucking doctors, but you don't always have that choice, do you? I mean, there was another nurse just like her as well with that before. My partner has quite severe PTSD, and she had an attack and couldn't breathe properly. Called an ambulance. They checked her out. They fucked off. One of them had their bloody hand on the doorknob, you know, from getting there to when they left. Didn't give a shit. They made her walk all the way down to this same surgery to see a different nurse, and the nurse said, "Next time, can we not call the ambulance out because we're wasting time when someone else could have needed that time?" She's suffocating. Do you see what I'm saying? These fucking things. Yeah, psychopath surgery. So, yeah, I don't know. What tool can I give you there? What tool can I give you there? All right, here you go. Trust your gut. There's a tool for you, and it really is. It's one of the most important tools you could ever wield. Your intuition, your gut instinct. Mine was off from the moment we walked through that door, through the veil. But I just let him do it, and she's been in pain ever since. My girl. Yeah. Right then. Sure, there was a couple more. I won't go any further than half an hour. Promise you that, guys. Tonight's a long one. Come on, Sorrow. Come on, mate. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So these these catastrophes, they need to exist. They have to exist. to show you the fine line between you and them. They're dead dandelions, and I said the same thing in that video, didn't I? Because it's true. We don't need them, they need us. But unfortunately, they're there. And if you pretend that they're not, they're going to be there a lot longer. And they're going to be doing things that you don't want them to do. You really don't, because it's very traumatizing. Even when your skin's thickened, it's still hard to make their shed, you know. But it always does, because they're not real, true, pure human beings. They're tares. Where wheat, they're tare. They may even be Canaanites, you know. Cain and Abel, we're the descendants of one, they're the descendants of the other. Depends. You don't have to believe any of shit, as I always say. It doesn't have to be looked at with a biblical perspective or a religious perspective. It ain't about that. That's not what I'm trying to get across in these videos. I'm trying to get you to look at shit metaphorically, symbolically, theoretically, subjectively, objectively, and figuratively. Because if you put all that together, you'll see things for what they are, you know. And it goes both ways, as I always say. Don't have to believe in reptilians being most organic portals would what call the fucking lizard card, right? It doesn't work like that. It's the same as saying, oh, the word psychopath is another trigger word like reptilian, isn't it? You say psychopath to someone, maybe even yourself, I hope not, by this point, what do most of the masses think of? What do they picture? Bloke running down the road with a fucking hockey mask on and a chainsaw in his hand, just, you know, dripping with blood. It's just not how it works. They do not want to get caught. If they get caught, they cannot harvest your looch. They cannot get their fucking fix. They yearn for their gurn. They can't do it. So why the fuck would they go and murder someone? They're fucked for life. They're already in a fucking prison. They don't want to be a cell inside a cell. Do you know what I mean? So most of them never ever go on to kill in their whole entire life. They might try and get you to do it, but they won't. They're fucking lazy. They don't want to get their hands dirty ever. If they can avoid it, they will. Okay? So yeah, instead of just ticking the boxes of the checklist or talking about the world's worst serial killers, I thought I would try something different this time. And if you, again, same as I say in every one of my videos, whether it be about art or reptilians or transhumanism or satanic ritual abuse or anything that you can teach me, please go ahead and give me an education. If you've had any experiences like this, share them with me, please. I'd really appreciate that. I always will on the topic of any video I make. Alright? Otherwise, I'd be one of them. Or I'm the truth researcher, I'm teaching you, I don't need to know nothing, I know it all. It's bollocks. Nothing is ever perfect. It can be perfected, but it can't be, it's not, there is no such thing as perfection. Okay? I don't believe so. I don't believe, okay, let me retort. I do believe in perfection, but I believe perfection is to continue to perfect someone or something, including yourself. That's perfection to me. To know that you can keep growing. They don't grow, they're stunted, I told you this. These dead dandelions are cut off from the bottom of the fucking stem. Okay? And they cut it off themselves too. Nature versus nurture and all that, it still would have happened. It still would have happened. But yeah, we've been indoctrinated into a society where all psychopaths are serial killers and all serial killers are insane. Psychopaths are not fucking insane, okay? They never, ever could be, would be. Scientifically, biologically, makes no sense. The way their minds function, you need emotion to become insane, okay? To get paranoid, you need a straitjacket. You need, think of the emotion that drives someone into that position, or disposition, should I say. They don't have any of that. So they're not fucking insane. Get that out of your head, because it's not in theirs, alright? And as for these fucking people who are like, they think that murder's cool, dude, you know, and they, I don't know what that's all about. Where like serial killers are celebrities to them, you know. Think about it. This is the way it's run by the media, it always has been. When was, do you know the name of, name me one. Name me one. I can't, by the way. I'm not putting this on you as much, only as much as I'm putting on myself. Name me one fucking victim of Ted Bundy. I'm only going to mention Psychopathia. I'm not going to do Ed Gein because he had dementia. I'm not going to do, you know, one victim by Ted Bundy. Can you? Because I can't. No. One victim of Graham Young, the poisoner. One of my favourites. See, even then, he's one of my favourites because I find him the most fascinating. But we should not be saying things like that. One of my favourites. What the fuck are you talking about? Diabolical. But this is how it's been. You see what I mean? So I apologise. Let me take that back. One of the most intriguing, perhaps, in regards to the with psychology. But anyway, you get the point. So any of them, you know, any of the victims of any of these psychopathic murdering motherfuckers, because I don't. And therein lies the tragedy, the true tragedy. And they take all the fame because we give it to them. I would say stop giving it to them, but there's not really many around now these days, is there? I mean, there is. Psychopaths fucking everywhere. But the ones that pop up on telly because they popped up in someone's house and took their life doesn't seem to happen too often. But then maybe that's because they're just not covering it, you know? Yeah, so I think that's about all I have to say on the subject. I gave you most of the major traits that I haven't heard enough of, but maybe you have. Hopefully you have. Maybe you know more about it than I do. Therefore, as I say, please share with me. Um, yeah, always keep your eyes open and your teeth sharpened, just in case you need to fucking bite back, okay? Because otherwise, they'll blind you, which in turn will silence you, and it will just become another plaything to them. Because they're a plaything to Satan. Do you understand that? They treat you like a puppet because they're being treated like a puppet. Copy of a copy of a copy, like I say, just like the artificial intelligence, just like Satan, it's their nature. but it's not ours. All right? Stay empathic.